channels and increase the reactivity to override the xenon effect. The fix worked, and atomic history was made.
Well, B-reactor was the perfect marriage of science and engineering, because pure science was how does the physics reaction work, but engineering was how do you build a machine that can encompass this reaction, encase it, provide a safe atmosphere for it to operate in. And so the engineers at the DuPont Corporation added some extra tubes to the original design that the scientists had put forth. And the scientists were sort of contemptuous and said, we don't need those. We've told you how many we need, and that's all we need. And the engineers said, well, if you fail, who's going to take the blame? And so at that point, the scientists said, okay, put in some extra tubes, do what you want, sort of thinking they will never be needed. They were needed. And so that's why the machine, B-reactor, is just as much a product of engineering as a product of science.
On November 24th, 1944, B-reactor's first irradiated slugs were pushed into the cooling pool. By then, the Hanford Engineer Works was the third largest city in the state of Washington. A thriving society of 40,000 employees quartered in barracks, the world's largest trailer court with 13,000 residents, 8 mess halls, each the size of a football field, 2 grocery stores, 4 ice houses, a lumber yard, 2 automobile service stations, an electrical fix-it shop, and even a dog pound were set up to service this temporary city. A schoolhouse and gymnasium for children up to the 8th grade were located in the main camp area. High school students were furnished free bus transportation to neighboring Richland. All needs were factored in, including 24-hour patrol duty, public health services, fire protection rights, surface streets, 24-hour cafeterias, and weekly entertainment. All part of the critical morale effort as worker turnover was constant. People came from every state in search of work. Most were unprepared for the desert conditions, for the secrecy, the lines, the heat, and the dust made family life far from ordinary.
I'm reminded of the fact that the only way a man could get in the gate, that the fence that surrounded that facility, women's barracks and the women's rec hall, was to be in the company of a woman. You couldn't get in the women's rec hall. You couldn't say, oh, well, my date's waiting for me in there. She comes out here and takes you by the hand and leads you in there. That's okay, but not otherwise.
It was actually quite an experience out at Hanford. They had big restaurant that eating places that would seat 2,000 people. We'd go in there and sit down, and they would bring food to us, and if we finished cleaning up one dish, we'd raise it in the air, and they'd come and bring us another one.
On February 1st, 1945, Matthias himself delivered the first shipment of processed plutonium to the test lab in Los Alamos, New Mexico. The container was about a 2-foot cube wrapped in paper and secured tightly with ropes. He was driven to Portland and went by train to Los Angeles, where he met a courier who would deliver the product to Los Alamos.
Well, when Colonel Matthias met this other man at Los Angeles, of course the other man did not know what he was carrying, because that was part of wartime secrecy and nobody was supposed to know all the parts. Well, Matthias knew that this was extremely dangerous and expensive and valuable material. So he asked the other fellow if he had booked a sleeping booth in the train. And the man said, no, I'm just going to kind of sleep sitting up in my seat. And Matthias said, well, you might want to get a sleeping booth with a locking door, because the product you're carrying is worth $350 million. Well, in those days, that was a huge amount of money. That's about $4 billion today. And so it was shockingly huge to that man. He'd never heard of anything in his life that cost that much. And Matthias was, of course, referring to the cost of the whole Hanford endeavor.
The science had been proven successful. Uranium had been transformed into plutonium, a highly reactive and volatile material. But would an implosion of an atomic fission bomb actually work? All that theory was realized on July 26, 1945, when product generated at Hanford was used for the Trinity test in a remote section of the Alamogordo Air Base in New Mexico. For the first time in history, there was a nuclear explosion. "14 days later, on August 9, 1945, Hanford and B reactor would forever be part of history when Nagasaki was bombed with the Fat Man bomb charged with Hanford plutonium, an explosion that was equal to 22,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese surrendered unconditionally 5 days later. World War II, the war to end all wars, was over. B reactor continued on producing plutonium to fuel the burgeoning U.S. nuclear arsenal as America became involved in a new kind of war, the Cold War. On February 13, 1968, B reactors shut down for good. Over the life of B, further testing, improvements, and innovation were commonplace. Its existence not only changed the way societies conduct war and peace, but paved the way for the new technology of nuclear energy, science, and medicine. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers in 1976 summed up its contributions to history with the awarding of B reactor as a National Historic Engineering Landmark, calling B one of man's most brilliant, scientific, and advanced engineering achievements.
Well, when we think about preserving B reactor, we think about why would we do that, Well, think about any other great icon in American history. Think about the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell is old and is cracked. It's not very valuable all by itself, but it symbolizes to us the fact that we're all connected, that we are a nation, that we have common goals, that there are things we will fight for. The same thing is true when you visit Appomattox Courthouse, where the Civil War ended, or you visit the White House, or you visit the bridge at Lexington and Concord, where the American Revolution essentially began. We go there because we want to be in the presence of something that tells us more about who we are, who dreamed something there, who dared, who presumed, who failed, who faced loss, who constructed. And we have to do that because that makes us a people, that weaves us together as a nation. B reactor is a voice for all those things. B reactor tells us something about who we are, what we're willing to do, what we're capable of, and also tells us something about loss, about waste in the Columbia River, about loss of life. It has a lot of lessons to teach. So whether people are in favor of the reactor, think the reactor was a good thing to build, or they think it was a terrible thing to build and it never should have been built, I think all people will agree it should be preserved, because if it's not preserved, we won't debate it, we won't learn its lessons, and its voice will be silent.
Phillip, and this is Goose Ridge Estates Winery in Richland, Washington. This tasting room has been here for over 20 years. The Monson family is a big part of the community, and they have this whole winery is an estate winery, meaning it's family owned. There's 2,200 acres of grapes that help produce the wine that we drink in this room. we've decided to put up some outdoor tents to enhance everybody's experience here. And what we're doing with those is a preset experience through Friday through Sunday. We are open 7 days a week, and on the weekends we're doing some brunch specials in the morning, some mimosas, and during the weekdays we have some charcuterie plates and warm bread and different things that kind of change throughout the week for you. So we want our customers to stay safe during COVID, and so we have hand sanitizer for you on the tables, also at the entrance of our buildings, and we spray down the tables after every use, and our employees are sanitizing consistently as well. I would say a tasting room favorite is our Vireo. It's a blend. It's also our owner's favorite wine. My personal favorite is our Cabernet Sauvignon. It's incredible. It's smelling like blackberry cobbler, and you should come try it. We hope you come and visit us. We've got patio seating, we've got tents, we've got lots of wine and great food, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
The City of Richland strives to make information about your municipal government accessible. Most information you seek is available from the city's website. This includes park and recreation related activities. To start, go to the city's website and click on Departments, then Parks and Recreation. Or go directly to the parks pages at richlandparksandrec.com. From this page, click on E-Activity Guide. The guide is browser-based. No plugins or special software is required. Here you can find out about the latest class or event or check out the amenities that each of our parks offers. With a click of a mouse, you can get information about a specific class or sign up for activities. Simply click on the activity and add the class or event to your shopping cart. You will need to log in to your account prior to registering. If you do not have an account, you can create an account online. Because the e-activity guide is interactive, you can also find links to a variety of groups and organizations that provide added recreational opportunities, or link to Parks and Recreation Facebook pages. Additional information about Richland Parks and Recreation is available from the parks pages at richlandparksandrec.com.
Judge Cornelius Hanford platted the town that would bear his name? Did he give much considering the day Judge Cornelius Hanford platted the town that would bear his name? Did he give much consideration to the future of this little farming community?